Welcome to Salty Mechanics and the docks of Norway. This is the channel for you if you like boats and engines, I guess. Alright, right now I'm flying over a residence area, going down towards my shop and the docks. In the last episode we dealt with the gearbox from hell. Weird noises coming from everywhere and we could not really figure out anything. Hopefully in this episode we will find some answers. Now I'm sitting here at the back end of this boat. I am ready to turn the key around after having made some new installations and stuff. But before we do that, why don't we go back a few steps so you can better understand where we're at. Alright, let's go. Alright, I've been on the phone with the customer again, and this time we discussed his engine. It is vibrating a lot, much more than normal. We don't really know why. I checked the diesel injection valves just because I thought, you know, there might be something wrong there. There is definitely a problem with the combustion process in some way. So the high pressure pump is now on the table. But before we went to those lengths, we discussed, you know, do you want a new engine? And normally we don't talk about that if you have a vibrating problem, but he's been thinking about it for a few years. It is getting older and, you know, he really wants something new. So I managed to give him a pretty good deal, you know, regarding the whole situation. So now instead of just waiting indefinitely for a new gearbox that may or may not come, we can set up a whole new setup, basically. New engine, new gearbox, and the plan now is to go up to Yanmar and collect the one engine they have left in stock that has all the right measurements for his boat and the propeller and everything, and you know, the plan is to install it. If we still have the sound after all this, I'm gonna find a new job. All right. right, we have the new engine right here. It looks beautiful. The 3JH5 series from Yanmar. Basically the same engine as the old one, but the alternator is a little bit bigger. The wiring is all new, different. We had to make some changes to make the alternator work with the channel system on board. And here we have a feed pump, which is now electric for the diesel system. But the main change for us in this case is of course the gearbox back there. So let's start it up and see. Cross fingers. I'm just gonna start it up and go. Put it in gear and let's see. Here goes. Yes, it works. So I'm sitting here at my office hoping to finish the gearbox report, and maybe we can just put this whole case behind us. But before we do, let's talk about the engine and the gearbox. What's really going on here? We don't think the engine had anything to do with this because we tested it on different RPMs. So no matter how much it vibrates or less, the sound is just a constant thing. The gearbox, on the other hand, well, it's a different case. He came in with the problem, we fixed that. He came back with this noise and we've been working on it ever since. So did we do something wrong the first time? Did we tighten something a little bit too much? Can't really say for sure. We do know that he came in with a problem. When you have a sailboat and a fixed propeller, a lot of people tend to just sail along without locking the shifter, which means that the propeller is just going to move in the water like this all the time, and that means that you'll have moving parts all the way into the gearbox, which will cause a wear and tear situation. And the only way you can prevent this is either to buy a folding propeller, which this customer has now, or you put the shifter in reverse, which locks everything up. So what's really going on here? We can't really say, but we think that the sound that we've been hearing are the teeth within the gearbox just not rubbing against each other the right way. So now the most important thing is that the customer can use his boat. He has a new engine, new gearbox, and he can just enjoy his summer, which is not really long. Norwegian summers are quite short, so you don't want to be spending time on stuff like this. So I think we can just, safely just put a lid on this case and move on. Let's look into the future. I'm just going to take out as much knowledge and experience as I can from this, which is what you do every time something is just not working out. But I'm happy to say that we are done and the customer is going to come and collect his boat. And that's it. So let's just look ahead into the next project. All right. Alright guys, that's all we had time for in this episode of Salty Mechanics. I will see you next time for more mechanics and whatever.